Help is on the way, right? Now I fixed the mic. Yes, I think there's a good energy in the movie, and it's also due to the fact that we did it just after the pandemic. So we were all of us so happy to go back on a set, and so happy to do our job, our business. So yes, I guess you can feel it when you watch the movie.
Yeah. Now this is based on the Japanese movie One Cut of the Dead. So I loved all the sort of meta things you did, that they say that it's based on a Japanese version, and it cracked me up that you kept the Japanese names in the beginning, because it was like, I had seen the Japanese version first, and I was like, what are they doing? Are they keeping the names? And I love all the things you added to it.
There's a French producer, who watched the movie. The only thing she knew was that it was a remake of a Japanese movie. And when it started, she was like really embarrassed. She was like, what a lazy guy. Didn't even change the name. And she was very upset, and she didn't know how she would talk to her friend, who was the producer of the movie. So after that, of course, she was reassured.
Yeah, I mean, it's a strange movie to sort of go into blind, like if you don't know anything about it.
Yeah, it was actually it was a problem for the promotion, because we wanted to keep the surprise for the audience, and but it's a little bit risky, because some people leave the room like after 28 minutes. It's too long.
You have to have someone to stop them.
Yeah, and actually in the comments on internet, I had some very, very bad critics from viewers, I mean, not the journalists, because the journalists are supposed to stay at the end of the movie, but I don't know if they do it for real, but yeah, the regular viewers, some of them were very, very upset.
Was it sort of liberating or something, in a way, to make, like the first half hour of the movie that's not supposed to be polished and not supposed to be sort of great? What was that like to shoot? When you don't have to.
It's a one-shot sequence that lasts 33 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's very precise to do, not to say difficult to do, but it is actually. And so it's a huge choreography with the actors, with all the crew, the camera, of course, the sound, but the SFX, the decapitation, the stunts, and so we rehearsed for 5 weeks, and when you work so much, you want the result to be as good as possible, and this is not what we had to do. I had to have the result not as bad as possible, but like really, excuse me, I'm not speaking English very well, a shitty movie. I learn English in movies, so sometimes I know just that kind of word. So yeah, usually when you put so much energy, you cut when it's annoying, when it's too long, you put some jokes when it's not funny, and here I couldn't put jokes, I couldn't make it shorter or faster, and I had to accept that it was not my movie, but the movie of the character, and the movie had to be not that good.
But was it?
Not to say very bad.
Was it like a one take, or did you have like stitch some shots together?
No. It was we shot for 4 days, and it was always one shot.
Wow.
But I have to say, there's 2 cuts in this one, because the fact is that the 4th day, we had the good one. And after 26 minutes, the light started to blink on the camera. And when something is blinking on the camera, it's not good. And actually it was not. The memory card was full. Yes. And so the assistant started to... But it's like in the movie, actually. And she was like, panic, we have to stop. And I say, why do we have to stop? Because the card is full, I don't understand it. So we cut, and it was really the best shot, and the best take. And so we cut, and we redid it. But because it was the best one, I decided to keep it. But anyway, everything was so well prepared and well choreographed. Everybody knew exactly what they had to do. So I could cut because everyone was at the same place with the same lens. So it was really easy to do.
How many takes was it in total?
Oh, 14, I think. But let's say the 6 first were really, really, really bad.
Now, when we then see them making the movie, did you shoot any of that at the same time, or just repeat what they did during that one?
Oh no! You mean the rehearsal of the first shot?
Yeah. Well, I mean, no. At the second half of the movie, when we see them make the movie and we see, the making of.
Yeah, I used some footage from the first shot, and. Oh no, it's impossible.
Yeah.
No, it's impossible. But one of the producers asked me, maybe you can do the 2 parts at the same time.
At the same time, just do it all in one day.
Just try to do it. Explain me how you can do it.
It would cheap and fast.
Well, not that's I'm not really cheap, because I think you need like 54 cameras, and no, you can't do it.
I know, or I've read that you storyboard a lot of your movies, like you draw the boards yourself and everything. Did you storyboard this whole film, or was it more like, even that sort of Warner stuff?
The first shot is entirely storyboarded, because it's a one shot, but for me it was like 240 different shots that I had to do in one. But especially for comedy, you have to be at the right place and to see the actors when they say something special. And so yes, everything was storyboard, and we rehearsed sequence after sequence, and we tried to do it. Well, we did the best we can, but the best we could. But everything was storyboarded.
All right. Apart from the memory card getting full, were there other things that went wrong, where you had to sort of improvise? Or?
Not that much, no, I don't think so. During one take, I was running after the camera and the assistant, and the key grip lost something. He lost his walkie-talkie, but there was a wire, so it was on the floor, so I took it. And I was running after him, and the action went this direction, and the guy was doing this direction, so I followed him. And so I couldn't follow the shooting, so I hid myself in the set. I knew that I would come back this way, so I knew I could hide behind the camera when they would arrive, but I have like a very short window, 4 seconds, so I was alone by myself. I could hear them yelling and shouting and everything, and suddenly they came, and I ran, and I took the train, and I followed them. But there's no improvisation.
Yeah, but that story sort of sounds like something that would happen in the movie, with you running around and hiding.
No, but if someone they couldn't see me, that would be. absurd.
Yeah. Has the Japanese director, Shinichirō Ueda, has he seen the movie?
Yeah. Actually, we had a Zoom together, and he said to me some very, very nice things. He actually told me, you know what? I understood my movie watching your movie. So that was really nice. And all the things I added, he was very, he loved them. And some of them, he was very happy because he told me he wanted to do, for example, the first time they rehearsed together, I did another one shot for the sequence. And he was so happy. He told me, that's what I wanted to do, but I didn't have time. He did it for very, very few money, like 25. I mean, it's really ridiculous. And he shot like for 6 days, or I don't even understand how he did. We shot 30 days, which is 6 weeks. And but he did it for very few money. He really added also the musician.
Yeah, that wasn't in the original.
No,
right?
that was not.
I love that guy.
Yeah, and he was very happy that I had this character.
Yeah.
But before I didn't talk to him.
Yeah. Now about the actors, have they seen the movie before, or were they sort of?
The French actors?
Yes.
Yeah, they all saw the original, and but I think they saw it once, and that was that was enough, because the script was not that easy to read, actually. Because you can send a script like this to an actor, and after 20 pages say, okay, I want to make that shit. So yeah, I pitched them the movie, and I sent them the link, and that's it. Yeah. And I try to be. It's very funny because I've been very faithful to the original, but in the same time, it's a very personal movie. So yeah.
I'm not sure. Can we do a couple of questions from the audience? Yeah? Yeah, I mean, if you want. Yeah. Someone's very eager here.
Yes. Thank you. Congratulations, such a wonderful film. It was a treat. Thank you very much. I am wondering about the look of the film and the decisions you make in order for preparing and the production value. I mean, how you wanted that look, because when we see the second part, it changes completely. We see the grain and the cinematography, and then it changes to a clear vision of what we're seeing behind the cameras. So there are two different contrasts. Can you talk more about that? The preparation and the look of the film.
There's two different texture of image. I wanted like this because the first movie is supposed to be for a platform to be broadcast, but I gave it like a film texture and some saturated color, because I thought that he would have done, and it was like something, I don't know, it's more fun. But also I wanted two different texture, because in the third part, when you go to you switch from the movie to the behind the scene. I thought it was easier, or maybe it was easier to follow the switch. And anyway, I had to work with a very small camera for the first shot, so it was not the same texture anyway. I couldn't have 9 kilos camera, especially because my cameraman is a very short guy. And, at the end,
Hi. Thank you very much for coming to Los Angeles. You said it's a personal movie, it's a movie about making movies, but it's also a movie about family. Did you have times in your career where you come back home and cry sitting on the floor, like it happens for the director?
Almost, yes.
Almost. Can you tell us why and why that happens?
No, because sometimes I don't know, you're discouraged and you feel like nothing is going well, and you think, why do I put myself in such a situation? Why am I so
Do you get that on every movie? Because I find that I love thinking about movies and I love having made movies, but while making movies, I'm pretty miserable. But still, I keep.
Sometimes it's. I mean, usually I love my job and I'm very happy to be on set, and usually my shootings are really happy places. But sometimes when I was the movie we just talked about, The Search, which is a movie that takes place in Chechnya. We shot it in Georgia, and I stayed for a little bit more than 6 months in Georgia. That makes you cry first. I'm in Georgia, not your Georgia, Georgia in the Caucasus. And so this is a good reason to cry, for one. And also it was so difficult, and I was working with Chechen people. They had suffered a lot, and I had some Russian, and there was a lot of tension. And I remember once we were shooting, it was in the mud, it was raining, and the Georgian television came to interview me. So I said yes, and I gave the interview during the lunch break. And so I had I don't know, maybe 5 cameras, some journalists. They were shooting at me like this, and I was. And it was after the Oscars, so they were very happy to interview me. And I was answering the question, and suddenly I looked at my feet, and my feet were literally in the sheets, and I was like, this is really my condition. And I know it was very, very difficult. I'm not sure I cried for real, but I could.
Your next movie, though, is animated, right? You're working on...
Yeah, it's an animated movie, yeah.
And that's your first animated movie? Or?
Yes, exactly.
How's that going?
Long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's a very long process. It's very interesting. I love it. It's a beautiful story based on a book. It's very short. It's it's 75 minutes, and the action is during the war. It's a beautiful. It's like a tale. It's beautiful, and I draw since I am 10. So, and the book has been written by my parents' best friend since they are 16. So I know the author since I was born. So between that, the fact that I draw, it's a very intimate adventure.
The Most Precious Cargo, is that what it's called?
Yes, exactly. It actually has been published here in US. If you have a chance to read it, it's really, really beautiful.
I don't know how long we're going for, but let's see, we have a couple more questions.
Can I ask? Okay, my question is...
You have a microphone on the way there.
Oh, I'm sorry. You say it's a personal film, so my question is, you are married to an actress, you have worked with her in The Artist, you're working with her in this movie. How do you do to manage that personal and professional relationship when you're working on a movie and then the two of you go back home at the end of the day?
Well, on set, I'm the boss. At home, it's a different story. No, Bérénice is a very easy person to work with, really, and so we don't have any problem with that. And she knows me so well. She actually helps me because I'm not the kind of director who will say to every actor, every hour, that he's wonderful, he's the best, and everything. And the same for the technician. Usually I don't say, if something goes really wrong, I can say something. But usually, if it's just wrong, like normally wrong, They are supposed to be good. So I don't talk too much. I mean, I talk, but I don't congratulate. And she knows that some actors are used to be congratulated, and they want to become. So she congratulates people for it. And she doesn't say, he thinks you're wonderful. He doesn't say it, but he really thinks it. Even if I didn't say anything. And sometimes she congratulates some actor that I hate. But she's right, I should do it actually, because when you congratulate people, you give them confidence and they are better. So, but I try, I mean, I give confidence, I try to give confidence to the actors and to everyone, but she helps me. It's also a personal movie because Romain Duris, I mean, the daughter of the director in the movie is also my daughter in the real life. And Bérénice, of course, the wife of the director is my wife in the real life. And this is also my last daughter, the one on set with the tiger costume. So, and there's my niece also, who's the cameraman with Zoom. But it's not only for this reason that it's a personal movie. It's more about people that I know and I live with, technician on set. It looks like I don't know when people are close.
Thank you so much for this experience. I don't think I recall any time that I laughed so hard as the last act.
Oh, I'm sorry, but very sad life. So, I feel bad for you.
My question is, this is not your first film that has a tribute to filmmakers and filmmaking in general. And I wanted to ask you what draws you to have this tribute to cinema and filmmakers.
Well, this one is a little bit different because it's not about movies when they are finished or movies when they are done. It's about people making a movie, whatever the result is. I mean, obviously they're not doing a good movie. When I make a movie about Jean-Luc Godard or about silent movies, it's more the movies themselves, the result. So that's different. But OSS 117, I don't know if you know the movies. You should watch them because you had such a sad life. You will enjoy them. That will be your second big laugh night. And so it's not about movie makers, but it's also, in a way, the way it's crafted, it's also talking about movies. What I like is that, I don't know, when the substance and the form are, you can create dynamics. In a silent movie, almost all the lines were about being silent, or it was a game between the fact that it is silent and the fact that it's talking about silent movies. And so when you put the cinema in the dispositif, the device of your movie, you can create dynamics. And also, I'm very touched by all these people, including me, that are almost ready to die to make something as ridiculous as telling a story. It's really ridiculous. It's really nothing. It's
Futile.
It's really futile. It's just a movie, but we're literally ready to die for it, for this. You can ask, for example, when you're scouting, let's say you're on the freeway, you can ask to an assistant, yeah, go in the middle, take a picture, I want to see how it looks. And the guy will go and take a picture, and don't do it. but it's true. I mean, we have way too much dedicated to what we are doing. But it's in a way it's heroic. The movie is about that. I mean, it's about whatever the result is. They are heroic, doing a shitty movie, but they are heroic still. And what I like is in that movie, and it was in the original, of course, is you start the movie and you are very critic. You say, what am I? It's so bad. And so your relation is to the movie itself, and then we change the point of view. We go through the window, and we see the people, and you don't even give a shit to the result. You're with the guys, and you're with them, and you're so happy that they do it, and you almost forgot that the movie was written. But this is what we're doing. I mean, sometimes I speak with some journalists, and I tell them, you say, for example, it's a terrible movie, Unnavet.
Yeah.
It's a flop.
So your movie is a flop. He did a flop. And so I tell them, we never do a flop. We are never doing a flop. I never heard a director saying, I'm doing a flop. The actors are, and the images, we never do, we always do our best. And this is the beauty of it. And it's very difficult to do even a bad movie. This is difficult to do too. It's not easier to make a bad movie than a good movie. It's not true. It might be the opposite, actually.
Congratulations. I really enjoy watching your movie. The original Japanese version is such a hit in Asia.
Yes.
And I like it myself as well, but I think your job really outperformed it. So my question is actually, as an accomplished director as you are, normally people like you wouldn't do sequel or remake. What triggered you to do a remake of a Japanese movie? And what is your secret to make a remake even outperform the original?
Thank you. I'm not sure. I mean, it's two different movies. It's a temptation to compare them, but they're very different. As I said, they did it for such a cheap money. You really can't compare. And, well, actually, I was working on a comedy based on a shooting set. I mean, that takes place on a shooting set, and it was based on I worked for more than 30 years now, so I have some experience, and I've seen some phenomenon like this, and some really weird situation, and some people acting like, really? And so I was working on this, and I started to work on a script, and there was something with a one-shot sequence, but that would come at the end of the movie. And it was during the first lockdown, and I spoke with a producer, Vincent Maravan, and for something really different. And he asked me what I was doing, and I said, well, I'm working on this, and I told him the story. And he said to me, I will send you a link. I just bought the right of a remake of a movie. So the very same night, I watched the movie with Bérénice, and I said, okay, I'm going to do it. And Bérénice didn't believe me. She said, no, say yes, no, you won't do that, no. Say yes, no, it's great. So she didn't believe me, but she was wrong, as you know. And no, because his idea was so brilliant, the structure was so good, and to me it was like the perfect playground for what I wanted to do. So I know that some people are a little bit, not ashamed, but like doing a remake, really, it's not an idea. But to me, I mean, for having done it, it's exactly the same. You can start from the script that someone else wrote, or from a book, which is the story of someone else, or a movie, and actually making your movie is making a movie is a personal thing anyway. So the way you work with actors, the timing, the location, everything, it makes the movie yours.
So the idea you had for a movie before this, is that scrapped now? Or?
Now, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
No, his idea was really better than mine, so I gained some time and qualities.
Is it working?
Yes.
I,
If it's not the mic, you're working.
Oh. I was really pleased to see that you can still see some of your best friend in the movie, Dominique Meseret, through the anti-capitalistic rant from the actor and the long Peterman sessions. I was really pleased with that. Do you want to expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, so Dominique Meseret was one of my good friends, and we started to work together, and we did some movies that are very famous in France, but not at all here, that we made using some footage from the Warner Brothers catalog, and we recut using like 80 movies, and we recut everything, changing all the voice, and we redubbed everything, and so they're saying like really stupid things, but it's really famous in France. All this thing and he was like, he could have that kind of dialogues and everything, and but working on zombies, I mean, I'm sure you know it, but there's all an entire, not philosophy, but
Culture.
yeah, in zombies, that the zombies are supposed to be a critique of capitalism and consumerism and all these politic things, which is, of course, if we talk about zombies, the Romero movie, it's true, but maybe it's, I mean, he doesn't want to do that, Remy. But this actor is so involved and he wants to, so I made it a little bit ridiculous with that. But it's some fun line, I mean, yeah.
I think our time is up, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
For coming here.
Thank you very much. Thank you.